guys. How's it going? Y'all you're in for a real treat today.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
So, Michelle, my belle, has just been able to experience,
The amazingness.
as she is saying, the amazingness of something that I developed years ago. And if you are not familiar with Fortuny, it's spelled Fortuny, Fortuny fabric. It is a fabric company that's been around since the late 1700s in Venice. And so they developed a process of making fabrics that have multicolors in it.
They're beautiful.
That gives you all of this movement, but then they would incorporate the movement and the silk screening effects with metallic images. And so we have developed this look that we're going to show you how to do today on our pillowcases. Now, we do have our pillowcases on a Maker Studio.
They're in stock.
And we're showing you this damask stencil that is a one-time use, but you can use our mesh stencils as well.
Absolutely.
So we'll have this available for you to be able to purchase, as well as the one-step paint. So we're going to take you through the whole process. But the one thing I want you to remember as you're watching this is a technique. This is a skill that you're learning, that you could do it on pillowcases. You could create drapery fabric. You can create napkins. You can create tablecloths.
I know, I have so many ideas.
Oh my gosh. Doing slip covers. Maybe you buy slip covers for your dining tables. Mm-hmm. You could do this on dining chairs. There is so many opportunities because of learning this skill. And I'm just going to tell you, I know it's going to be difficult for this to show up really well on the camera, but if you saw it in person, it's stunning.
Gorgeous.
It's absolutely stunning.
Gorgeous.
So we're going to walk you through the steps, but as we're working on a pillow, I want you to be thinking about all the different projects that you can do this on. So if you've never tuned in before, my name is Amy, and I am with
Michelle.
And we are here with a Maker's Studio. It's all about crafting a beautiful life. Guys,
It's so great.
This is the epitome of crafting a beautiful life, just so you know. And this is what I tell a lot of my students. If you're going to emulate something, if you're going to copy something, then let it be something that is almost unaffordable. Fortuny fabrics run between $450 and $800 a yard. They're hand executed just like what we're going to be doing today. And the fact that you can use stencils to be able to create this kind of artwork, you need no skill whatsoever. So, not cutting you down.
No.
We're
I'm
taking
with
them
you.
through.
Yes.
That way, everybody can do this. And here's what's exciting. If you've never watched us before, we always love giving things away. So, all you have to do is share this video, tag 3 friends, and we are going to send you the one-step paints, the stencil, and the gold and silver ink.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
That means you can make all kinds of things.
Oh my gosh, guys, that's like over $100 worth of products.
That's a lot of stuff.
So we're giving that away, and all you have to do is share the video.
And tag 3 friends.
Tag 3 friends. All right, so we ready to do this? So, love it, love it, love it. Tell us where you're tuning in from. Just say hey, and we go back, we look at your questions. If you have questions about how to do this, just ask us, and we'll go back and answer them for you. So thanks for watching. We're so excited. And we're excited because Ted is as you know, Ted's going to make a personal appearance.
Hi. Hi, Ted.
Whoops.
He's dropping stuff back there. Can't take him anywhere.
Nope.
So we wanted to be able to do this. We're excited to be able to have Ted with us, because it allows us to be able to get great overheads, great lighting, and we wanted to be able to up our game on being able to give you quality videos that you can turn around and share and educate yourself.
Absolutely.
So, all right, so let's do this, Michelle. Let's walk them through.
Can I say a happy really fast?
Yes.
Y'all don't be intimidated.
Yes.
I learned this technique by reading Amy's book, and she left me to my own devices to figure it out. And I got done, and I was like, this is so fun.
Yes.
And it's so easy.
Yes.
And it's gorgeous.
Yes.
So not tooting my own horn, but it was really exciting to be like, I did it right.
Yes, it's really, really beautiful.
It's really fun.
All right, so We're gonna go on, I wanna make sure, I'm gonna pull my phone up because I like seeing who's on here. And I wanna be able to answer your questions. So, hey Jennifer, hey Jane, hey Dixie. Yes, he's doing a great job. We're so excited. All right, so, are we set for overhead when we go? All right, so we're gonna go on. This allows you to be able to kind of see the final look. Let's show them the 3 colors we're gonna be working with.
Absolutely. All right, friends. French blue is our base color. And then we are using in our Fortuny to give it that character, cartouche green and Geyer gray. All of these are available on the AMS website in the little 4-ounce containers, which is really all you will need for this pillow.
All right, so I'm gonna pull this aside.
And I'm gonna put my gloves on, as Amy so rightfully reminded me I needed.
Yeah, it's good to be able to wear gloves for this. Now,
Absolutely.
the paint is not going to, it's not gonna mess up your hands.
No.
There's nothing toxic about it that's gonna mess you up, so.
But I don't want my engagement ring to get
That's
dingy.
absolutely right. No,
Let's be honest.
yes, very good.
All right, friends. We are going to start with water because you want to always wet your linen, pillowcase,
Fabric,
whatever you're
whatever.
using. You want to make sure it's fully saturated before you try to get the paint into it, just because you want those fibers to really take the paint.
And you are gonna have to start with raw fabric.
Yes.
So a lot of you, you may like, well, I have a fabric that I don't like the pattern or whatever on it, can I paint? No, you're gonna have to start with raw fabric and try to make sure that there's no size in it.
Yes.
So that way, our starch, you do wanna make sure that it's clean, and that way you're making it wet.
Yes. And I'm actually just going to use the same container. I'm actually going to pour my French blue in here because I didn't want too many containers of water. Just going to wring that out. Now, when we're mixing these paints, we're mixing them, I'm going to pour the French
Okay.
blue in there.
Okay.
We are mixing them about 30-70. So 30% paint, 70% water. So I'm going to hold that for a second.
Yep.
I'm going to use Amy's hands. And I'm just going to take the French blue. I need to cut that open.
So you can go to the website, especially if there's people that are popping on here before. Okay. The bird, guys, good news. Seeing Laura and different people, the birds is back in stock. It will be on the website today. So, if it's not on there yet, it should be there because birds came back in, dragonflies are back in, our Venetian stencil is back in, so many of your faves is back in. All right.
You ready, friends?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not gonna pour all of this. I'm gonna leave myself just a tiny bit because I want to have just enough that I can use it with the Fortuny process if I need it. So, you see, I just have a tiny bit left in there. And then I'm gonna stir this really good with my hands. I want that French blue to really get mixed into the water, and I don't want any of it sitting on the bottom. Remember, this is a chalk-based paint, and so it does have those chalky fibers in it. I don't want them sitting at the bottom of my water.
To settle down at the bottom.
Yeah.
So you've got to agitate it before you're going to put your pillow in.
Absolutely.
And if you want to do a larger piece of fabric, like you want to do your drapes with this, would be
Gorgeous.
amazing on drapes or your linen slip covers or whatever. You just get a 5-gallon container and do the same thing that we're doing right now.
I had actually already decided that we're going to do all white in the bedroom, and we may not anymore.
Because you see this. I'm telling you guys, it's absolutely to die for. But this is a great process to do on dining chairs too. All right, you ready?
All right, friend, do you want to set that in there? Ta-da! Caring is sharing. Okay, so do you see how it's already taking the blue color? We are just going to keep working it because we want that blue color to lay into the fabric. Now, we let ours sit 30 minutes or so and
Yes.
just really soak in because it is such a light color. We did want it to really get deep in the fibers. So I have one that's already dried and ready, but you would just wring it out and then you can lay it flat to dry, you can hang it to dry, whatever you want to do to dry it, but you're gonna give it time to start drying before you move on to your
To the next step. Here's the other thing I want you to remember. You're going to go from light to dark. You don't want to start with dark colors and then go light because they'll have a tendency to look muddy. So you're going to want to go from light to dark.
All right,
So
friends.
that's why we started with our French blue. This is our lightest value color. And then we're going into our cartouche green and our Guyer gray. So you can see the variances of the color like this.
Absolutely. All right, I'm gonna dry that up really quick. All right, friends, this is ours that we had already done in our blue. And so you can see these deeper areas where the blue kind of inlays, which is really pretty.
That's desirable.
It's absolutely desirable.
Don't freak out because there's some variance. This is all
want it.
about, yes, this is all about having variances. I'm just gonna get like, so look at this side by side. So see where we are. We've done our color. We started with our raw pillow.
Yep.
And then we've got our color. And now we're gonna come in and we're gonna add all these variances, before we actually do our artwork.
And it is an artistic process. It is really fun.
Yes.
So I'm gonna shake my paint always because I wanna make sure that nothing is not mixed up in this sweet little container. And then I'm going to pour, again, you're gonna go about 30-70. So I'm gonna pour just to my bottom line right there in my cup.
And this is why I love these small 4-ounce containers of
They're
paint.
so great. And then I am going to add water to about half. There we go. Amy, would you like to stir that for me while I
Sure.
pour
Do
the
the other
next
color?
one?
All right. I know the color palette of things I love. I love grays and blues, and they're just so classic. But you can do a lot of other colors. Maybe you
Any
want to go
colors
into
you
more
want.
taupes and browns, or maybe, I tell you the color palette that's really popular with the actual Fortuny is their oranges. So you can go into, from yellows into oranges to keep them
Yes.
subtle. So you might even want to go to the Fortuny website, just Fortuny, for inspiration. Again, you'll see that the fabric will run anywhere from $450 to $800 a yard.
That's amazing.
I know. But, and it's hand done, just like
Agreed.
this. So that way we're teaching you the tricks to the technique to be able to do this yourself. When you're working on this too, you do want to make sure that if the first step that we did dries, you do want to come back and moisten it. It doesn't need to be completely dry. Just FYI,
Yes.
at home when they're working on
Oh,
it.
yeah. Okay, friends. And then, like I told you before, I wanted just that tiny bit of French blue just in case I wanted to lighten any of my spots. So I added water to this container and just have it all shaken up and ready to go. Because I don't want to heavily use this, but I might want to lighten something that's just a little darker than it ends up, and I want it to be lighter. So this allows me to be able to do that without a problem. All right. I might need to put some more water in that one, Amy. What do you think?
I mean, here's the deal. You're not going to mess this up.
Nope.
It's not like you're going to get to the end of it and go, I messed this up. That's not possible. This is a hand-executed thing, and I just don't want you to I want to make sure that your paint's not too thick. So, all right, let's do it.
Agreed. Okay, so I have my medium and I have my dark, and I actually liked working kind of simultaneously. So I started with my medium, but then I might blend some of the dark in with the medium while it's still really wet. I'm gonna go ahead and take these out, because they're kind of in my way a wee bit. Okay, friends. So I'm putting my seawool sponge in my paint and just making sure that I have it really saturated. I don't want it soaked when I start coming into this, but I do want it to start. Do you see that? Already we have color disbursement, which is so pretty.
Look at that. Do you not look at that, guys? See how
Pretty.
that's blending in with that French blue, but you want to skip around and go over it. So we want to make sure that you're not going in straight lines, either vertically or horizontally. This is a very organic process. So it will almost kind of look tie-dyed when you're finished.
Absolutely. Except it's more blended than that. It really is such a great process.
Okay, I'm going back because I want to make sure that I see your questions. Hey guys, hey Robin, hey Gretchen. I don't know if y'all heard. But we have a huge giveaway today. This is a process that I developed years ago that I'm very, very proud of, and it's the whole process of being able to create your own Fortuny fabric. And so we're going to be giving away the stencil that we're using, and we're going to be giving away 3 of the one-step paints, the exact colors that we're using, as well as the gold and the silver gel ink. I mean, come on. All you have to do is share the video, tag 3 friends. Your name is going to go in for the drawing, and we're going to be giving away a ton of stuff.
Okay, so I added some dark, y'all. I'm going to come back and start blending it again with the medium because I don't want it to be this really like heavy, dark line. I want it to be blended. So I'm just going to work them together.
So you're going to go back over that. So it's all, that's part of the wet process.
It's just layering.
You don't want it to dry. You're going to be layering it all as it's wet.
And it blends really fun. And so if you see a spot that you're like, man, I don't like that. Well,
Just touch up over it.
add a new color. Get it to where you do like it.
Kind of like a crafty camouflage vibe. I like that.
Oh,
But I just think the colors are absolutely yummy.
I love these colors.
So just to go over the colors again, we're using Geyer Gray as our darkest color, and all these paints are on a Maker Studio, www.makerstudio.com. So Marty will put the link here so that way you can go over to the website, but the darkest color is Geyer Gray. We've also got Cartouche Green, which is our medium value, and then we have French Blue, which is our lightest value, which is what we put on first.
And I might put some back over the top too because I like to.
The other thing is too, we'll be putting the natural seawool sponges on our website today, so that way you'll be able to get those too, because you do need to do this with a natural seawool sponge. You don't need to use a kitchen sponge or anything because they're flat. They're not an organic
They
shape like
don't
Michelle.
have the same depth to them.
No, and they don't have the holes and everything to be able to use, and the density. You've
not
got
as
to use a
organic.
natural seawool sponge in order to have the most success.
So really, friends, it's just playing.
It's
the
playing
sweetest.
with intentionality.
Absolutely.
That you've got a plan, and you do want to make sure that it's organic, that you don't go in verticals or lines. You're moving around. You may be working up in this area up here, and then you're going to work down here. You're moving around and making it soft, and you are looking for an oval eye track, a composition. So that way, if you want to, I'll tell people a lot of times, get maybe 5 feet away from something. So that way, if you want to just kind of get away from it
Step
and
back
look at
from
it and see if there's an area that stands out to you more than others, then that way it's like, okay, I need to go in and
need to
soften
fix
that.
on that.
Sometimes when we're too close to what we're working on, we don't see things.
Agreed.
So we've got to get far enough away that you're able to see, and it's like, okay, I'm going to go up and touch that. Like this right in here, you don't want it to start taking on shapes that look like South America or Texas or Tennessee. It needs to be a variable that it's got a beautiful composition.
Yes. I think I'm going to come back in with a little lighter colors. Let's lighten it up a tiny bit.
So you can play with this. Again, you don't have to do the 3 colors that we did today, but we do want you to go from light to dark. And you're going to need 3 colors of basically the same variable. So you're going to be using, or they're all pretty much in the same color family.
In the same family, yep.
All right. Do you think we're ready to go to the next step?
I do. So one thing I want to say before we get done, you would do this side, you'd flip it and do your other side. Do not forget your edges. So when you come back, when you've got both sides, make sure that you're dabbing
Yes.
your edges
Yes.
and working them together as
Yes.
well, so that you're working your zipper and you're working your seam hemlines.
Yes. Great point. Dab. Dab.
We love him. He's dabbing back here, y'all.
Yes.
I'm going to remove this whole thing so that we can show you the stenciling process.
All right. So now this is this is our pillowcase that has dried. And everybody's is going to look a little bit different.
Absolutely. I mean, our sides look a little bit different.
Yes.
Which is beautiful.
Yes.
All right, we are using the one-use stencil that Amy was talking about from Amy Howard that we're putting on the website so you can get your hands on it.
But you can also, because we have back in stock, and Marty, if
Any
you'll
of
put the
ours.
link here, we also, the Venetian stencil,
It's beautiful.
beautiful, would be perfect on this. I love this damask. So
I
we
do too.
introduced this for the first time on a Maker Studio.
Love it.
We love this stencil. So tell them how this one works.
So you still have a backer on it, but you have a plastic cover. Do not take off the plastic cover until you have it placed. That's what's holding all of this glory together. So you're going to remove your backing so that you can get your stencil on your surface and just remove it carefully, slowly. It's not a race. You don't want to lose any of your details.
Carol is saying this reminds her somewhat of the flower pots that we did. Those were done with milk paint.
Yes.
Totally different process.
Yes.
But here's what's happening, and I'm so proud of you, Carol.
For putting that together,
You're
right?
putting this together.
Yes.
You're building I talk about your connoisseurship level. And they're like tools that continue to go into your toolbox. Whether we call it a crafting or making, you're building your toolbox of knowledge. So that way, what happens, they start to meld together. After you continue to do this year after year after year, you will become an expert.
Absolutely.
And you'll be able to, that way, part of the teaching. I mean, I've been making and crafting and developing finishes now for a long time.
way.
I'm not going to say how long,
Weeks.
but weeks, yes, weeks and
She's
weeks.
so young. She just started.
But part of my joy and what I love teaching you, but I cannot develop things like this unless I give myself some time to be able to experiment,
Absolutely.
and that's what you guys have got to do.
Yes. And experimenting's the fun part. You find stuff you
Absolutely.
didn't know before. It's so great. All right, friends. I'm going to use just like a tongue depressor to really kind of work this stencil down. It is different than our tri-mesh stencils. So when I peel up the plastic, which is on the top, I don't want to pull all of this up. And you still may need to burnish some more once you get the plastic up, but the more burnishing you can do before, the better.
And if you're wanting to do large surface areas, like if
Yes.
you're wanting to do, now your dining chairs would be, this would probably be the seat of it, and then you would tuck it underneath it.
Absolutely.
But you could use the Venetian damask stencil and just move it around, so that way
Yes.
you're covering it, but you'll do the finish with the paint on the entire thing. All right, there we go.
I'm stuck. I had to move it over a little bit. I couldn't reach it. It is a big stencil. It is a big pillow.
Hey, Connie, so glad you hopped on. Yes, guys, so as you're hopping on, or maybe if you're watching us later, if you're not catching us live, do #replay. But we are showing you how to create Fortuny fabric that can be used on not only pillows, totes, clothes,
Curtains,
drapes,
sheets,
duvets,
all the things.
dining chairs, covers.
I'm thinking bedrooms.
I would just be real honest with you. A lot of you that have Etsy shops or that teach workshops or whatever, this is a slam dunk, because when people do this and they look at it in person, they're like, this is like one of the most beautiful things I've ever done.
Yes.
And the quality of it looks like Fortuny fabric.
I mean, that's what I told you when I finished
Yes,
it.
I will tell you, I have collected vintage. Tell them before, I'm not going to keep talking. I want you to tell them real quick what you're doing and why.
There's a plastic cover over the stencil. That's what holds it all together so that you don't have seams in the stencil. So what I'm doing now is I've got it burnished, so I'm just very carefully peeling off the plastic layer so that I can get to these openings so I can do my gel art.
So guys, we're
So
showing
I'll
you.
peel and she'll talk.
So this is a different stencil, but you can use
is.
a lot of the different mesh stencils that we have with the
Absolutely.
Maker Studio. This is a one-time use that we're showing you, and we put the stencil up on a Maker Studio today because it's been on Amy Howard at Home, because I have used this design because
Multiple
it's,
times. It's
yes,
beautiful.
because it's very Fortuny-ish. So that was part of the reason I wanted to be able to show you, but you can use any number of our stencils. I think it's best that you use a pattern. Now, Dragonflies is
absolutely.
back in stock.
Yes, and it's so great.
It'll sell out again, but
It will. It will.
the dragonfly pattern could be beautiful on this. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Do the same thing that we're doing, but use the dragonfly stencil or use the Venetian stencil.
Yep.
But just make sure, not words or anything, you want to stay with a pattern that's all over the whole thing.
So this is just slow going, friends. You do not want to tear that stencil, and you don't want to peel it up all over because you really want your design to stay. So
And guys,
be
if you
patient.
share this video and tag 3 friends, guess what? We are giving the biggest giveaway we have ever given in a maker studio. We will have our drawing, and we're going to be sending you all 3 of the paints. We're going to be sending you the stencil as well as the silver and the gold ink. Yes. So we're almost there.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Dun-dun-dun.
Drum roll.
I promise you guys, it's worth it.
Oh my gosh.
It's
It's
the
so satisfying.
funnest.
Yes. You could actually make and resell these pillows all day
absolutely.
long. People would love to buy 3 or 4 of these to put on their bed, their
Couches.
sofa. Yeah.
Yes.
Just single chairs. This actually, now
A
I'm thinking
love
about
seat.
this. I would love, you could use this outdoors because we're going to wax it.
We are gonna wax it.
Yes, so it would be, actually, I want some of these. I have white,
So I'll be making more.
I have white upholstered outdoor furniture.
Yes, you do. It's
And so
beautiful.
this would be absolutely
Gorgeous.
fabulous by a pool. You think about blue water, you think about your,
Yes.
green
yes.
plants.
All right, friends.
Love it.
Just reburnishing so that I have really good coverage because I don't want to. I did
Yeah.
pull it up a little bit when
Yep.
I got the plastic up.
Yep.
So you just want to relay that baby down. All right. You want some cardboard so you can offload, unload. We're actually going to use the Amy Howard hog hair brush as well because we want that antique finish. We don't want this one color.
Right.
So we are going to do a pouncing motion with gold and silver gel art. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on different locations on the cardboard because I'm just going to kind of mix them together on my brush. I don't want them mixed. I want them organic.
And doing, if you'll look at actual Fortuny fabric, it's Fortuny, and it's done in Venice still to this day. You will see variations of silver, gold, or gold and copper, so you can mix them. So that's why we're wanting you to mix these 2 metallics together. And our metallic inks are divine.
They are beautiful. And we're just going to do an up and down motion. And I turn the brush, I twist the brush, I load and offload. If I feel like it's too silvery, then I go back over with the gold. If I feel like it's too gold, add a little more silver. And it truly is just, again, that organic experience that you're just watching and creating. And so I feel like this is one of, I just feel super creative today.
Yeah.
I feel like I get to just be an
And
artist.
but it's safe and it's satisfying. And the end
the
result,
results are gorgeous.
amazing. Because this is what we talk about, crafting a beautiful life. If you're going to replicate something, if you're going to emulate something, let's emulate something that's really expensive. And so,
that I honestly could not afford. Let's
yes,
be
no,
honest, could not in any way.
come on, like 99.9% of
The population could
can't.
not afford this.
No,
I am.
but when you can create it yourself like this,
then nobody knows. And it really is so fun. It's fun to watch it come together. This peeling process is almost as fun as peeling the other stencil as well, just because it's still this really amazing reveal of where did the silver take, where did the gold take, what does it look like with the design that we already put on the fabric and the coloring, and it's just really great. So as you guys will notice, I am pouncing. I am up and down with this stencil. It is not like our other adhesive stencils, and so you do not want to go up under that plastic
But now, if you're working with our mesh stencil, they'll just blend it.
Absolutely. You can do like we normally do when we do our ombre effect, where you're putting a little gold, a little silver,
Right.
and then you mix it with your spreader. That is not this process. And the reason we love this process is because it does give so much more depth
Yes.
to,
It's not solid.
nope,
That's something that you need to be aware of. It's not about it looking solid. Do you want to finish it? You do. Okay.
yes, we want them to see the peeling. The peeling is so
We
fun.
talk about that when we're peeling back our mesh stencil, or whether it's one of
I'm
these.
telling you, the peel is the bomb.
It's part of the satisfaction of the whole project. Guys, if you're just now popping on, thank you, Christine. Thank you, guys, for sharing. Because sharing is caring, and this is one of the best giveaways we've ever had. So you want to be a
Great
part.
giveaway. You do not want to
I can just, I can hear, I want to be the final wall when somebody
When
sees
someone
the
wins.
post. It's like, oh my gosh, I won. Because we do. We love giving giveaways, and we love being able to encourage you in your making and your crafting and your creating. All right.
just for fun. I like it. All
All right,
friends.
we ready? This is the fun part.
Amy's gonna lend me her fingers. And it can tear. That's why it's a tearaway. It's a one-time use. Oh.
Yeah, you gals that are seamstress, if you sew, or even if you don't have to sew to be able to make these pillows, because we have the actual
them.
pillows now
Look at the depth.
on the website. But I wish you could see the depth in it. It's absolutely fabulous. Now, if is that my camera up there?
Yep.
To be able to kind
Y'all.
of get up to that, can you see? All right, so
so pretty.
I'm going to turn this over. This is one that is actually dried earlier, so that way we can show you the final stage.
So we want to wax it.
Yes.
It's going to soften your fabric, and it's going to help it to weather the outdoors if you decide to put it outside.
I'm going to do one more close-up for these guys, because I think it did kind of help being able to get that up there. Can you see that? Look at the variances in it, guys. It's so pretty. And it really does look like Fortuny, I promise.
It's so pretty.
All right.
All right, friends, you have options. You can use a hog hair brush to put on the wax, or you can use a lint-free brush. And we have the light antiquing wax on the website where it's available. So it's a liquid wax, and I just put it, again, on some cardboard so that I can offload. So I'm going to do some with the hog hair. I load it up, and then I'm loading off. And then crosshatch.
You can, sorry.
Nope, let Amy do it. Let her play. Yeah,
What I don't want to happen is
for
for
there
you
to
to
be lines.
for you to put it on too thick. And so many people have my planners, I ask people what they do. Well, I'm an accountant. I was like, okay, come here, honey, I got to help you. So I just don't want you to go in lines or like this. It's a very organic process of just kind of moving around to what will happen when you've got this fabric. It's going to give it some protection so you can use this outdoors. It's great. That's why I was saying by the pool or whatever. But also in your home, let's say somebody spills some red wine on it or some spaghetti sauce or whatever. Well, guess what? All you do is take a rag and wipe it off. So this is going to protect the fabric, and it's great for dining chairs or kitchen chairs
Yes,
or anything.
that people are
It
always
just
sitting
makes
on.
them cleanable. And it makes them really soft. If you feel this area over here, and then you come and you feel the area that you waxed.
Oh yeah, it's got
really,
such a different texture.
It's yummy. It feels yummy, and I can let this dry for about 20, 30 minutes,
And then come back and buff
and
it.
then come back and buff it. Literally, you want to show them?
Yeah.
Just with a rag, you're going to buff it. It's going to give it a little bit of sheen, but what it does, it gives it some protection.
Just
It's not
like
going
you will with furniture.
It's
You
not
just
going to
wanna buff
change
it.
the finish or anything. I promise, guys. This is going to be one of your favorite projects of all times.
I love
Even
it.
more reason why share this video with your friends. They're going to love you for it. And then your name goes in for the drawing. So,
Oh my.
so this is how you create DIY Fortuny.
It reminds me of, are you familiar with like leather dusters or the waxed dusters? That's what it reminds me
It
of.
feels fabulous.
It's so great.
Yes, it feels fabulous. Waxing it is one of the end result things you need to be sure and do. And this kind of emollient wax, where it's a liquid wax, is very, very important. You don't want to use other waxes. It does. It feels great. And I can pour things on it, and it's going to shrivel up, and I'll wipe it
Beads.
right off. It's going to bead up. So, I hope you've loved this. Great job, girl.
Thanks.
Aren't you glad you learned how to do that?
I really am. This is bad.
So-
I don't need to learn new skills because then, well,
We-
I want to do them all.
I know, but that's part of it, and so do these gals too. So, we're calling this Pillow Week. So now on Friday, we're going to show you. We're going to do some hand coloring.
I'm
We're
so
going to be using our
excited.
Birds and Branches stencil. You're going to love it. You want to be sure and tune in. So have a great week, everybody. Look at all the new stencils that we've got back in stock. And you want to be able to share this because I can't wait to see what everybody does and all the different
Right?
color values. It's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be great.
Have a great day, everybody. We love you.
Bye,
Bye.
friends.